Hello, everyone. It's day 68. First I want to start off by yesterday I misquoted what day I was on. I said day 66, but actually it was day 67, even though I wrote day 67 still. If anybody watched the video, there was a discrepancy. I wasn't about to record that video all over again just for that. But anyway, I finally finished all the challenge questions in the callback and higher order function section off CSX. I found a couple good articles that actually gave other use cases for reduce along with code examples to go with it besides just a typical adding, coming up with the sum of a number. Like one literally broke it down like how to find repeated words using reduce, how to find how to group things together. But like say if an array has like or object has letters, duplicate letters or something as a key or whatever, like it takes like a tally of how many times that letter was matched with something else or whatever. So that was really awesome. And it helped me solve all the challenges. So definitely something I know I need to practice is just a higher order function, just because like looking back, I used the most simple cases for all those. Like the free code camp, it was like a couple questions on reduce and map and all that. It may have been like one or two hard problems in the in the functional programming section, but like it really didn't go in depth. Like this is like all of the questions were on stuff like that. So I'm gonna keep a lookout for like any other practice questions I can find. It's this one guy on YouTube, Junior Developer Central or something like that. He posts like a lot of, I actually got like an email that I signed up for. He made like a little ebook with just like programming examples. And then if you go to his YouTube, he has a video of him going over the solution for each question. Like if you weren't sure and something, so that was cool. Next up, I went to the next section of CSX, which was Clojure, Cope, and the execution context. I watched the lecture video and the workshop video. Surprisingly, like that section really wasn't bad, but I do have to remember that for, I think the book project, for the Odin project, we had to look at IIFEs, the module pattern, factory functions, which all kind of use like the context of scope or whatever. So like I had kind of took a little bit of a deep dive into it. So this is more like a refresher plus getting to know how it actually works under the hood. So that was cool. I actually finished all the challenge questions. It really didn't take me all that long either. It was a couple that were a little difficult, but like watching the workshop where he like went on the board and actually broke down the execution context and like what things are in memory and how closures work, I was able to apply that to solve the problem because I knew how it worked under the hood. So it kind of made it easier to understand what I wanted it to do with code, if that makes any sense. Anyway, cool thing I learned, the toDate string is a method that returns a date in human readable form. It was a question on there that we had to, using a closure and a callback function, return a date in human readable form or whatever. So I found out that was a method, just did it for you. So that was cool. And since I finished this section, the whole section, I went ahead and went back to CS 50 because I'd watched the lectures and like the little shorts videos, but I hadn't actually done the homework yet. And I watched the video like last Wednesday, so I had kind of forgotten a little bit of the syntax I noticed or whatever. Anyway, I did the lab. We had to implement the Scrabble game. It was just one method, the one method that made the whole game work. That was blank, so we had to fill it in to make it work. We had to write that in C. And then I did almost done with the homework, part one of the homework. It's 2 programs you have to write. The first one, readability, I'm almost done with. It's just my output, is a little bit off. Like it counts the correct number of letters and words and sentences. It's supposed to calculate like the reading level of a text based on some formula that they gave us or whatever. So I got the right number of letters and words and sentences for it to, sorry, my mind went blank. I got the logic right for it to detect like the letters, numbers, and sentences, that's correct. Just the grading level itself, which is the final output, that's wrong. So I got to look back at the formula. So I'm probably converting something wrong or whatever. But yeah, so, and then after that, part 2, I just skimmed that to see what it was about. It seems like it's like a Caesar cipher or whatever. So that's cool, which, as I recall, that's also a free code camp, I think, project problem. So if I do this in C, probably shouldn't be all that hard to convert it to JavaScript or whatever. Surprisingly, I didn't really forget that much in C, even though I hadn't touched it in like a week. That my biggest thing was just, I found myself putting the triple equal sign for equality, but in C you only use a double equal sign. And I kept saying let instead of int because you have to have the type, and just like type specific stuff, like remembering to actually put the type of the function and all that. But for the most part, like just remembering, like for their print statements, you got to put like %i if you're returning integer, %f if you're turning a float, %s if you're returning a string, and all that, like little stuff like that I'm forgetting or whatever. But yeah, overall, I had a really good time doing this little project. Like, it was pretty cool. The lab was cool. I almost got this to work, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to write the pseudocode and I'll do it tomorrow. But like, once I wrote the pseudocode, I just wanted to keep going. So I just kept going. But like, now it's after 2 a.m. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night and then wake up and finish this up or whatever. But yeah, overall, good day. I could tell, you probably could tell, I was definitely frustrated in yesterday's video. Just because I just didn't get it, the reduce function or whatever. But like, I've noticed a trend, like I usually have every few days, not a bad day altogether, but just like a not so great day. And then the day after that is always amazing, never fails. So I don't know, just push through. Like I know even if I get frustrated, just keep sitting at the computer trying to hack it out until it gets to my bedtime, sleep on it and come back to it or whatever. I never just completely quit. I know some people say take a break or whatever, but for me, if I'm like frustrated with something, I can't figure it out, me taking a break, I'm going to come back with the same level of frustration that I left with. I'm a little different, I guess. So it's better for me to hack it out, call it a day, and then like, when I sleep on it, then like, I don't know, in my dreams, something, I think of a solution or just like think about it from a different way. So when I wake up, come up with a fresh set of eyes or whatever, but that's just me. But yeah, overall good day 68. So I got the number right this time. So far so good. I think the next section for CSX is recursion. I want to say, let me see. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, recursion, asynchronous JavaScript, which I've never looked at asynchronous JavaScript. I've done a couple problems with recursion, but I really took a deep dive. And then object-oriented programming is actually where I started with this. However, all the other like exercises I never did. So I'll close it out with that. But yeah, after that, it's just those 3. And then there's like a Chrome extension little project that I'll probably do just because that's not a common project that I've seen or whatever. But yeah, good day, great day. Yeah, please. I'm glad I finally figured that stuff out and I'm back in familiar territory. But yeah, definitely a learning experience. I just taught myself just to keep at it. And even if I don't figure it out, I'll figure it out eventually. So, all right.